Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Brown and William. William has a book to share with you. The title of this book is Lift the Flap, Questions and Answers About Time. This is an Usborne book. The author is not listed on the front of the page, with over 60 flaps to lift. It says, when, what, yes or no, who, where, which, how, and why. This is a nonfiction book. It's about time. When did time begin? Around 14 billion years ago, when the universe began, but our planet didn't appear for another 9 billion years. When do flowers bloom? All through the year, but the most common times are the spring and summer. Some desert flowers wait years for rain before they can bloom. When did people start telling to time? Thousands of years ago. At first, they just worked out the time of the year. Then they started using shadows to tell the time of the day. When does being on time really matter? When being late means you'll miss something important. When does one day end and another begin? Officially at midnight, but that's in the middle of the night. For most people, the new day begins when the sun rises or when they wake up in the morning. Why? Why do some clocks have hands to point to the time? Inside mechanical clocks, there are little wheels that move the hands around. On one hand points to the hour, the other points to the minutes. Why do other clocks just have numbers? To display the time, they're called digital clocks. Many gadgets now have digital clocks built in. Why does time go more slowly when I'm bored? Because you're more aware of the minutes ticking by, but when you're busy, the time can fly by. Why are days longer in the summer and shorter in the winter? Because of the way the earth tilts. Summer gets more hours of sunlight than winter. Why are some people always late? Because they lose track of time. Why are there 365 days in a year? Because that's roughly how long it takes the earth to travel around or orbit the sun. That's why the seasons come at the same times each year. Why do we have leap years? Because the Earth's orbit actually takes 365 1/4 days. So every 4 years we add an extra day to catch up. Why is the time different in different countries? Because of where they are on the Earth. The Earth is divided into 24 different time zones. When it's nighttime in America, it's morning in Europe and Africa, and afternoon in Australia. Why do some clocks have bell towers? To share the correct time with everybody nearby. In the past, very few people had their own clocks. They'd listen out for the town clock instead. We have a bell tower near our house, don't we? At Furman.
I don't have a bell class.
What time do birds wake up?
Mom, I can't see the bell tower
From your school? The first birds wake around an hour before sunrise. In summer, that's long before you wake up. Some birds, such as owls, sleep through the day and wake up at night. What's a timeline? A way of putting events in order. Timelines show what happened when. What time do bats go to bed? Around an hour before sunrise, just as the birds are waking up. Most bats sleep all through the winter.
Mama, watch that.
Oh, yeah. Whoops. What's the time on these clocks? 4:15, 1:50, 9:30. What's what on a clock? Oops. The hour hand points to the hour. The minute hand shows the minutes going by in each hour. What did people do before clocks? They told the time based on the positions of the sun, the moon, and the stars. Some people told the time with water. They measured its steady flow through a special container. What's another way of saying this? 500 years ago, the 16th century. A century is 100 years. Each year has its own number. We live in the 21st century. This book was written in the year 2015. What will happen at 9 o'clock? The clock makes a sound like a cuckoo bird and a cuckoo pops out. Cuckoo clocks have been made in Germany for hundreds of years. What's a candle doing here? Telling the time. The candle measures time as it burns down. Candle clocks were used hundreds of years ago. They were very useful on cloudy days or at night when you couldn't use the sun. What's this? A pocket watch, the most popular kind of watch for hundreds of years. Gentlemen attached them to their clothes with a chain. How long ago did knights live in a castle? From around 1,000 to 500 years ago. How big is the biggest clock? Massive. The clock face is as tall as a building with 12 floors. Its minute hand alone is longer than 10 tall men standing on top of each other. The clock is in Mecca, Saudi Arabia, on the world's tallest clock tower. How do clocks keep time? By using a regular movement. Grandfather clocks use the regular swing of a pendulum. Many clocks work by running electricity through a tiny piece of crystal called quartz and making it vibrate. The world's most accurate clock keeps time by using the regular movement of tiny things called atoms.
What's atoms?
Tiny little molecules. How does a sundial work? It has a tall marker that casts a shadow on the sun. The shadow moves around a little like the hour hand of a clock. It only works when the sun is shining. How come some clocks have letters? They're actually numbers written the ancient Roman way. How many hours make a day? 24. How many minutes make an hour? 60. How many seconds make a minute? 60. How long does it take to boil an egg? 4 to 5 minutes for a soft-boiled egg and 10 minutes for a hard-boiled egg. How long does it take to train to be a doctor? Roughly 10 years. Play a soccer match? 90 minutes, 2 halves of 45 minutes each. Brush your teeth. Dentists recommend at least 2 minutes. That's 120 seconds. Yes or no? Can I travel back in time? Yes, sort of. If you travel west through the time zones, you can put your watch back to an earlier time. You can look back in time, too. Stars are so far away, their light can take many years to reach us. So when you see a star, you're actually looking at the past. Are weeks always 7 days long? They are in most countries today. In the past, a week has been as short as 3 days or as long as 13. Can you stop time? No. Clocks can stop working and stopwatches are started and stopped into time events, but time itself keeps going by. In space, however, there are things called black holes where scientists think time might actually stand still. Can animals tell the time? No, not like we can, but they do have a sense of whether it's time for a walk, time to eat, or time to sleep. Can you match all the clocks that say the same times? Does time go faster when you're older? No, but it can seem that way if you follow the same routine every day. Try something new and you'll feel as if you're living longer. Do all countries celebrate the New Year? Yes, but not in the same day. Most countries celebrate it on December 31st. The Chinese New Year is celebrated between January 31st and February 20th, depending on when there's a new moon. In Ethiopia, people celebrate the New Year in September at the end of their rainy season. Will time go on forever? Time on Earth won't go on forever. Billions of years from now, the sun will burn out and probably burn the Earth up with it. By then, humans might be telling the time on other planets. Has anyone seen into the future? Some people think they have, but it was probably just a lucky guess. These days, computers can calculate what might happen in the future, but they don't always get it right. Who decides what the time is in each place? The sun and the leaders in each country. They usually set the time so that midday, 12 p.m. or noon, is when the sun is at the highest point in the sky. Who is Big Ben? It's the nickname for a big bell tower inside a famous clock tower in London. Who designed the first clocks? Nobody knows, but the first mechanical clocks appeared in church towers around 700 years ago. Who invented time? No one. The same patterns of day and night, seasons and years have been happening for ages, but it took many inventors and thousands of years to develop accurate ways of measuring time. Who put 60 minutes in each hour? They lived thousands of years ago in Mesopotamia, the ancient Babylonians. Their camera. Move out of the way. Where does the sun rise first? In the Pacific Ocean to the east of New Zealand. Where are our clocks made? In factories all over the world. Where is it always day? At the North Pole for half the year and at the South Pole for the other half the year. Where can I see this clock? In Prague, the Czech Republic. It shows what's happening to the sun
let's
and the
go to the
moon at
back.
different times.
I got a boy at the back. Where's there?
That's him? The same one? It is. Where's this lady going? To rich houses in London to deliver the correct time. Which planet has the longest year? Neptune. Which is the shortest day of the year? In the northern half of the world, it's December 21st or 22nd. In the southern half, it's June 20th or 21st. Which clock says 2:30? The middle one. Which months are 30 days long? April, June, September, November. Which of these doesn't tell time? This is a weather vane. It shows the wind direction. The other two measure time using the sun and shadows. Any answers? Look back through this book and see if you can find the answers to these questions. The end. Hope you enjoyed it and learned something about time. Good night, everyone. Say good night.
Good night.